I'm Elizabeth New. I teach medieval history here in the department. I've been interested in medieval history since I was actually very young. I used to love visiting castles and historic sites with family, and in fact once had to be removed by my father from Canterbury Cathedral because the rest of the family were really bored and I was still interested. To me, the Middle Ages are fascinating because people are both very much like ourselves, and yet it's a different culture within the same country and environment. The challenge is also fewer sources, so you really have to work. But actually there are more sources than you first think. And as I then started to research the Middle Ages, realised there's an awful lot more out there that is still to be discovered in archives. And just looking around, and the fact that as a medievalist I use visual and material sources, archaeology, art history, literature, as well as what might be conventionally thought of as documentary historical sources. History is about people, and I think most people who are interested in history are interested in people. I quite like looking at people who've been dead 800 years and can't answer me back. Why do people act in certain ways? Why do they not act in others? How do things change over time? And as a medievalist, how something that happened or was done, developed hundreds and hundreds of years ago by people in what to us seems a very different culture, has direct impact now. The origins of parliaments, the origins of universities, the origins of the language I'm speaking at the moment are all from the Middle Ages. I would like to make a contribution to what we know and how we understand the past. My particular field of research can seem quite specialised. I have a special interest in seals, the sort wax swords attached to documents and the metal stamps, which can seem very obscure, but actually it allows us to ask very big questions about ideas of identity and representation, about the development of law and administration, about the role of very low status people in quite important exchanges. As with all historians, probably belong to one of these so-called general schools, but I try not to be driven by theory. I'm if anything, the school of historians I come from is I'm an empiricist. I take the evidence with questions, but I try not to set out with some grand theory and then fit the evidence around it. I prefer to work the other way around, with some questions and then look at the evidence and see where that leads me. Everyone has biases. If somebody tells you they're an objective historian, they're lying, either to you or themselves. I do think that we need to be very careful about this, though, and be aware of our own particular views or particular interests, and try and minimise that, but also be completely honest about it.